The dude swung at me and I ducked and I jumped in the air and the only thing you heard was beep, and then you just seen blood shooting out the guy head and everybody running and stuff, and I just kept beating the guy, and then
The hammer or the hatchet? Which one
the
did you
hatchet,
use? Oh,
the
wow.
hatchet, yeah. Due to the fact of that whole time frame of me not talking to my dad, I think eighth and ninth grade I was wilding out. Like I didn't do the things that everybody else was doing. Like I wasn't into drugs. I wasn't into like robbing, stealing, but I was super violent. You know what I'm saying? So like every other day I'll be fighting. And then in ninth grade, me and my middle brother, we were in the same high school, which was direct trouble because he didn't know the extent of how crazy his little brother was. I didn't grow until like 11th grade. So
Oh,
I'm
the Lord.
4'11" with
Wow.
this
Crazy.
with
Napoleon
this
syndrome for real.
that's what it was. So I'm 4'11" with this Napoleon complex, and I'm like, I'm not gonna mess with nobody. But if somebody mess with me, it's a wrap. And
Yeah.
I didn't, and due to my size, I didn't fight fair. So I'm hitting dudes with like fire extinguishers, brass knuckles. Like I'm sending dudes to the hospital. Like I've almost got arrested so many times. Like I remember this one time these guys was gonna jump me, and the word got back to me, and my dad had like all these tools in the backyard or whatever, and like I grabbed some, and I had this big jacket, right? So I'm 4'11" with a big jacket on, and I had like a hammer in a sleeve, and this sleeve had a hatchet.
Oh my
And
God.
I was like, I just wish somebody
Yeah.
would. And then they did.
Yeah.
And the dude swung at me and I ducked and I jumped in the air, and the only thing you heard was beep, and then you just seen blood shooting out the guy head and everybody running and stuff, and I just kept beating the guy, and then
The hammer or the hatchet? Which one
the
did you
hatchet,
use? Oh,
the
wow.
hatchet, yeah. And then the police came like after it was over. I'm 4'11", I'm about to go to jail, and some big greasy dude is just gonna beat the brakes off of me or something, or other things, right?
Yeah.
And I got home and I prayed. I was like, God, please save me from this, cause crap, look at me. Like I got blood all over me. I'm like, it's over, right? So the police came, and the officer, the guy who I fought, his grandma brought him to the crib because the people at the bus stop, he tried to kill him, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And then the police officer looked at this big old dude, and he looked at me. The other police just went to the car, and then the guy looked at me. He said, he looked at the other guy. He said, "Did you agree to fight him?" He was like, and he had something over his head to hold the blood. And he was like, "Yes, sir." And he looked at me. He said, "Did you agree to fight him?" I said, "I did." He's like, "Well, that's what happens. I ain't got nothing else to say." And he got in the car and left. I was like, "Oh
Wow.
shoot, Jesus is real." That year after that is when I gave my life to the Lord, and I went stupid hard, like it was just, I finally understood what the preacher was saying when I just like opened my heart to the Lord. Like I really understood, and the pastor who was preaching, his motto was to break it down so children can understand,
Okay.
and he really did, and I really understood it. And then 11th grade, like I got a job, and then I was able to tithe and stuff like that, and that really did something to my faith because I got to do things what grown people been talking about,
Mm-hmm.
and it's funny, like right after I started tithing, I started growing. I was like, oh, it's something to this, huh?